I wanted to be an explorer when I was a kid. That was my first idea of what would be a really great thing to do in the world, to discover unknown things, and kind of pick around in them and see what you could bring back home to go, hey, look, the world is bigger than you thought it was. And acting is the closest thing I found to that. Honestly, it's about exploring and getting the opportunity to live in worlds and understand people that I would have no reason otherwise to interact with. One day I can be a spaceman, the next day I can be president, the day after that I can travel 200 years into the past. And so it's kind of this really freeing profession. It's a great way to spend your time as a human, learning about other humans and then sharing that knowledge. If I could do anything, it would be something as far away from me as possible. And in the spirit of that earlier question about exploration, the idea would be that my favorite part would be something I couldn't even imagine yet, because it's so far out of my experience that I could only possibly discover it through surprise and going, oh, wow, I didn't even know this was a thing. I had no idea that this character could exist. That's my dream part. I was the little drummer boy in my school's nativity play, and oh, how I played. No, I wasn't, but a lot of people are, because this is like one of the highest selling genres in the world. So I'm kind of looking forward to exploring that world a bit more, kind of as we're right at the center of it now. And again, from what I was saying earlier, it's a really, really great way to explore what it is that people are looking for in their stories, what it is that people get from romances and fantasy and glamour, and what we can learn about ourselves in that, and what we can learn about what we perceive in love and romance and ambition. So no, I wasn't, but now I am, and I'm becoming more and more familiar. Simon is wounded, intelligent, and prideful. It's kind of a toss-up. I really like Luke Newton's character, Colin, because I love his purity. I love the kind of naivety of how he discovers what love means to him, and how he's genuinely just kind of ready to fall head over heels in this very pure way, despite the fact that society's asking him to do it in a very kind of business-like way. And I think that he gets to experience some very real heartbreak about how you can't go through the world quite that naive and defenseless. But the flip side of that is who I'd really like to be is Lady Danbury, because anyone who can wield a cane and bring the world to rights as a fierce black woman in fuchsia has all of my respect and admiration. I listen to music all the time. I use it as a kind of a counterbalance to what's going on in the day, because I think that a lot of character work in changing myself or finding what the differences are and what the bridges are between myself and Simon in this case are a lot to do with rhythm and tempo. And so it can be anything. Like, it'll be Deftones at one point, it'll be Vivaldi the next, it'll be Nina Simone the moment after that. It kind of really depends what tempo and rhythm the moment needs or the day needs versus where I'm at. It's not always the extreme scenes that are the hardest. I think when you're at the extremes, you can kind of just crank up the machine and kind of let things through you quite easily. It's a little bit like opening the sluice gates on a dam and just letting the water rush through, because I think everyone has these heightened emotional moments in them kind of at all times. You're just controlling it and keeping it in check. I think the hardest moments are the very, very subtle barbs and hurts over the dinner table. You know, when someone says something that you don't get to blow up about, that you don't get to cry about, you just kind of have to take that sting right in the rib cage and express that through a flick of an eyebrow or through the way that you cut your peas. Last thing I watched on Netflix will probably be the same thing as everyone else. I watched The Queen's Gambit. It was consumed in seconds. It's such a comfy pair of slippers to slip into whilst also going, man, I wish I could pull that trick on the ceiling. Maybe I need to get me some tranquilizers, and then going, actually, you know what, maybe I shouldn't. I'll stick with coffee. The Queen's Gambit.